All right, welcome back, people. We had to make a part two of our reaction video with the single mothers and all this stuff. Again, my name is Full Circle 420, and you have Miss Plum with me again, though. Yes, we are working the same thing because this is at the same day, though. You know what I'm saying? So now that's over with
Oh yeah,
the
the video.
video. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you this question here.
Wait,
Now,
wait, wait. Because I was in the middle of saying how my parents met.
okay. Oh yeah. Yes, that's right. That's right. That's
Because he was saying stupid stuff. So, okay, like I was saying, the way my parents, I'm gonna go ahead and start the story. The way my parents met was my mama with her two kids from a previous marriage was at McDonald's. She went to McDonald's, go take them out or whatever. And that husband, to my knowledge, her ex-husband wasn't trying to do nothing for her. Let me tell you why they got a divorce. Because he kept cheating on her, and it sounded like it was a violent marriage because he was throwing canned foods at her head. Mm-hmm. And oh man, I'm sorry, I had got a charge that went through. It's okay. But anyway, so anyway, and he even had a kid. Oh wait, anyway, that's a whole different story. So she was divorced. Mm-hmm. So from a previous marriage, she had two kids. McDonald's. Okay. My daddy saw my mama in line ordering food from McDonald's. He asked my mama, "Hey, you want me to get something for you and your boys?" My mama was like, "No, I got this." So my dad was like, "All right." So they sat down or whatever. Mm-hmm. My daddy ends up I think my mom was getting something small. My daddy ends up buying both the boys Happy Meals. Mm-hmm. He bought them Happy Meals. I believe they exchanged numbers then, and then they started talking. Mm-hmm. They were married for over 30, I want to say 32 years. Oh, it was definitely over 30 years. And so, and it wasn't that, and then my daddy not only married her, but he raised both the boys as his own. Like, I would not have known that they had a different daddy if my older brother, like, because my older brother would get excited whenever their daddy was supposed to be come picking them up, whatever. And my older brother be waiting by, the door, be waiting. I'm like, what in the world's going on? He waiting for his daddy to come. My mom be telling him, you might as well go to bed, because he ain't coming, and that's because his daddy didn't want to, whatever. And so, all that to say, that's just one example. That's just one example of, you don't know the person's situation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then you don't know, you don't know. Right. Two kids, automatically people assume, you know what I'm saying? Right. People be assuming. And then thinking that, oh, she a baby mama, this and other. No, she's a mother first. I tell people in the heartbeat, I'm a mother first. Right. And foremost. My daddy took care of all of us. He took care of all of us. And equally, you know what I'm saying? And equally. He did for not only his kids, but he did for those who he still considered them his kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I'm saying it takes a real man. It takes a real man to take on someone else's kids. Him trying to warn people. And the guy, if you haven't seen the other video, he gonna link it in below. Please look at it or whatever, so you can see what we're referencing to. But that guy in the other video, he's just bitter because it's like, anyway.
I'm like, damn, dog, why so bitter, bro? I'm like,
right,
dude. Like
who hurt you?
Like, damn, dude. I'm like, who damaged you, bro?
Like, did your mother beat you every day because your daddy wasn't there, and then you decided to take on someone else, and they just treated you? I'm confused. Like, who hurt him and who hurt the ones in the comments? I need to know. Right. I don't need to know. It ain't none of my business. I don't even care. Right. They just bitter.
Well, I'm put it like this right here, man. I do agree. Like I say, remember I said I agree with you to a certain extent about another man taking another man's child. My thing is, it also takes another real man to take care of his own, so another man wouldn't have to do it.
Exactly.
That's a real That's a real motherfucker right there. That's a real man. Because shit, why? How can you as a man? I seriously, this what boggles my fucking mind, dude. How are you, as a so-called man, right, gonna sit there and allow another man's like you're not dead, you're not
Right.
an infant, you're not crazy, you're not a sex offender, you're not doing anything. You just don't have shit to do with the fucking your own fucking kids. So
Which
how
is
is a
sad.
man right? So how's a man? How you as a so-called man gonna say to yourself, man, you know what? I don't give a fuck if another man calls my children daddy or my children calls another man's daddy. I ain't taking care of myself, so why should I care? Dude, how can you as a man do that though? You know what I'm saying? How can you as a man say to
Right.
yourself that bullshit though? So that's why I say I agree with you to a certain extent, but
Yeah.
to me it takes a real man to take care of their children. So
Exactly.
somebody like me or anybody else had to come in and do a job that you failed to do. If your kids in the prison, if your kids do this, and that, the other, because they didn't have no male role model for them, and then I have to come in to be their fucking role model. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? That and then anything they do in life is on every failure or every failure in life they have is because you wasn't there, and I had to pick up the pieces.
I want to say this about that. I don't feel like, okay, the father being absent, I feel like can only be used as an excuse to a certain extent.
Right.
The behavior of the kids, I believe, yes, part of it comes from the absent father, but primarily from the mother. Is how you raise your kids. For example, my old is 9. She's 16. When she was young, so me and my first husband, we separated when she wasn't even a year old. Um, but the last time he saw her at around that time was when she was 3 months, because I had to get her out the household because it wasn't safe for her because of him. He was really extremely abusive. And then when it got to the part from where he went from abusing me to going to hurting her, I went on at that time. It worked out to where my mother offered. She didn't know. She knew about the beatings, but she didn't know what
The
was going on.
extent of it, yeah.
Right, right, right. And so, well, she knew. She knew he tried to kill me one day because she saw it. But that's a whole different story. But this particular time, she said, I don't know if it's true or not, but because that's a whole different story. But anyway, she was like, we could keep the baby for the summer, da 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 da. And I was like, all right, cool. So she hadn't been like 3 months old. I remember she was still young, 3 or 4 months old.
Mm.
She was still young. The last time he had saw her, in the press, he was married, living together, everything. He didn't want to work. He didn't want to do nothing at all. He just wanted to get high. When I worked. I worked for the government at that time. So, and it was a whole thing. So anyway, and I was okay with it because he already started to hurt her. And I had to get her out the house for her protection.
Right.
So when we separated, I found out later that he was trying to tell lies that I'm a horrible person and this, that, other, and how, what did he say? He said he didn't want to pay he said he wasn't going to pay child support because he didn't want the money from him for me to use to go on my hair and nails and this, that, other. I was like, first of all, I don't even go get none of that done. Second of all, I've been taking care of you. You didn't want to work. I've been busting my butt. You know what I'm saying? You never know what a person.
I understand. I understand.
It's crazy.
I
It's
know, right?
insane. It's insane. I had another point, but I forgot about it. I'm trying to place this order and everything. But I had another point I was gonna make, but we
Dude,
continue. It'll come back to me, and I'll go ahead and I have to chime in on it. But
well, with me, you know what I'm saying, as a man who has like 5 kids by 12 different women, that's a joke. You know what I'm saying? Every time a woman asks me do I have kids, I tell them no. And they tell me, they say I'm lying. I was like, well, okay, I got 5 kids by, I have more baby mothers than children, though. You know what I'm saying? They be like, because, it goes to people hear, but they don't listen, though. You know what I'm
exactly,
saying?
exactly.
I say this girl, yeah, I have 6 kids by 12 different women. She's like, oh, you got a lot of kids. I'm like, stupid ass. Like, girl, you about 2 sandwiches short of a deli though, man.
Not
For
two
real.
sandwiches.
You 2 keys short of a piano though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hate that I placed this order like this, bro.
I was like, you two blunts short of a smoke section though. You know what I'm saying? Like, goddamn. But I'm like, girl, I say you did obviously listen to what I just said. But beyond that, but with me though, you know what I'm saying. Most women I date are single mothers though
Yeah,
because not too many women my age, you know what I'm saying, don't have children. And the ones that don't have children, I mean that's their life though, you know what I'm saying. But
yeah.
I mean
I
just
remember. Oh, go ahead. So go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
there's some women that just don't want to have children. I mean that's cool though, you know what I'm saying. I mean hell, I mean I met those women too though, but most of the women I met were single mothers though, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, now one time I had to take care of a motherfucker though, you know what I'm saying, because they made it very clear these are my children, not yours. So
Right.
therefore,
That's their responsibility.
I am not looking for a daddy for my children. We they got that already. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's good. I mean, some people do have that. I remember the point I was going to make. Sorry, I was distracted. I had to place an order. But so the point I was going to make regarding my first one was when she got older, because she's always been very intelligent, she's very intelligent. And so when she got older, she started going to daycare. And again, the last time he saw her, she didn't know him. She didn't know, to her, she didn't have a daddy because I would never mention him. I never talk about him. She started going to daycare around 3 years old.
Mm.
Um, she was going before then, but around 3 years old, she started realizing that all these other kids got daddies walking around. I ain't got no daddy. So she asked me one day, I'll never forget this. I picked her up from daycare on my way. No, she wasn't even. She was 2. She wasn't even 3. She was 2 years old because where we were living at. She goes, Mama. She goes, well, I don't have a daddy. And I said, oh, yeah. So you can ask her to this day. I refuse to talk bad about any of their fathers.
Right.
And it's not that because they didn't do any wrong. They all did me wrong and and were abusive to an extent. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I refuse to mention it. I refuse to talk about that. I always try to find a positive about their father to say. So she asked why I shouldn't have a daddy. I told her, well, I said, because I said, your daddy wasn't ready to be a daddy right now. I said, but it's okay. I said, it's not you. He's getting ready to be a daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like these, you have to come up off the top of your head. And I feel like as a mother, no matter how you feel about that father, no matter what he did, there's a way to, I guess, I mean, you don't want that child to hear negative things from your mouth to their ears. You don't want that because that child's going to start getting this view of this guy or whatever, but you still want to be cautious. Like in my case, I still want to be cautious because he was a threat to the household. He did. They said it wasn't considered kidnapping because at that time we were married, but he took her from me, threatening to sell her in Mexico because he got family out there, threatening to sell her in Mexico. And he wasn't trying to get her back. He wasn't trying to come back. And then come to find out when I finally were able to get the police involved, this was before she had left. When she was a baby, she was still a baby. Before I got before the police were involved, I was trying to get involved. They kept denying me. Then finally they came. When he came back, him and his best friend were drunk, driving around my baby, literally just thrown in the back seat. But his mama, I think his best friend's mama was the one who drove them back too, because there was a few towns over. Mm-hmm. A few towns over. You know what I'm saying? This man gave away my dog without me knowing about it. Now he's trying to give away my baby. You know? So it's like when I hear people say, oh, these baby mamas, these baby mamas, what, you want us to stay in relationships like that? You know what I'm saying? Because had I stayed, both me and my daughter would have been dead. That year, we would have been dead. You know what I'm saying? And because of how abusive he was. So it's like, so you made a comment about, the kids not having a father or whatever. And, you don't want that CD to end up in jail, da. like I said, I agree with you to an extent, but it falls back on a person who's raising that child. My girls, I'm gonna stick with Nye because she's the oldest. She's 16. The other two, the baby don't know any better. 3-year-old, she's still learning. But my oldest, she don't care nothing about her daddy because of what he did. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm thankful that she got to see that, because he told her to her face when she was like 6 years old that he didn't want nothing to do with her. We went to court for child support, which, mind you, he don't pay. You know what I'm saying? I don't get that. I don't get child support for any of my kids, none, and I don't chase after it either. You know, so but my child, when people see her, or even a 3-year-old, they're impressed by how they are mannerable, they're respectful. You know what I'm saying? They're always, they're always the top of their class, or the peers. They're always top of their peers by their behavior. You know what I'm saying? They're very intelligent. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a mother. I'm saying that because these are the reports I'm getting back from the teachers, the school. Even the principal came and told me this before about my oldest. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I remember one time, one person was actually shocked that she didn't have a father in her life. And I was like, have you seen the kids who got a daddy in their life? They are horrible too. You know what I'm saying? Who has both parents? Now I work with kids. And a lot of times people who have both parents in the household, they're horrible. And when I say horrible, they're disrespectful. Then I'm like, I'm gonna tell your mama, I don't care. I'm gonna tell your daddy. Tell them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and when people say, oh, you must have two parents in your household, that to me was an insult, because you're saying that I can't do this on my own.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We don't need two parents. Then be extreme. Oh, wow, you did this. Why are you?
So hold on. You mean to tell me there's people who are dumb enough to congratulate you on a bare minimum that you're supposed to do,
right,
as a mother and as an adult?
Yeah.
Wow.
As a parent, period.
I swear the bar has lowered very, very low.
Right.
Though, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, dude, I'm just doing what I'm doing as a father. What I'm doing as a man. I'm supposed to take care of myself.
Exactly.
Who the hell you think is supposed to take care of me? Dude, exactly. I've been taking care of myself long before then, though. You know what I'm saying? I was making my own money when I was 16. I was making my own money since I was 10 years old. So therefore, I never really. I mean, my mom there, you know, she paid all the other bills that I knew about, but I didn't have to pay. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And, you know, I was working, you know, buying me this, buying me that, buying me clothes, buying me shoes.
You know,
at the age of 13, I told my mom I could buy my own clothes. Seriously, I could buy my own clothes. You know what I'm saying? I buy my own shoes, my own clothes, everything.
All that.
So me personally, and she taught me how to pay bills, she taught me how to cook, she taught me how to clean, she taught me how to sew, she taught me how
to be an adult.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
And which I feel a lot of parents need to do. You know, because I do my girls the same way. And so that's good and that's amazing that she taught you how to be an adult. Right. You know, because a lot of parents don't do that. You know, they sit here and just take care of the kids, which you're supposed to take care of kids, but you also need to teach them about the real world. That's how I feel. Anyway, you had questions. I'm ready.
All right. I'm just saying one more thing, Joe.
Oh, go ahead.
So there's one more thing. Before, you know, I knew how to wash my clothes since I was 12 years old. I knew how to separate the whites from the colors, and the colors from the darks, and the darks from everything else, the delicacies and all that. I go to Job Corps at 20 years old, right?
Oh my goodness!
I went to Job Corps at 20 years old, right? Now I met this young lady, right? She was a palm color, though. You know what I'm saying? And she was from a 2-person home. She was actually rich, though, you know. So, well, what we'll call rich, but you know, whatever. And you know, and I was like, she was in laundry one day. I was doing my laundry. She comes up to me and says, "Hey, by the way, how you do your laundry?" I said, "What do you mean how you do your laundry? You just do your laundry. You just separate the whites, the colors, the darks." And she was like, "How you do that?" You separate your clothes and you see the lights. The lights are the light colors, the tans, the yellows, the oranges, and stuff like that. And then you got your darks, that's your blacks, that's your grays, that's your, you know what I'm saying? Then you got your whites, that's your dark gray.
Something that comes natural to you was
Yeah,
like
yeah, pretty much.
crazy for
Yeah, I'm like, I say the separate ways. The whites could be t-shirts. It could be, white t-shirts. White t-shirts.
But your mother was, you know, it dawned on me, your mother was a single mother,
Yeah, exactly,
and she came from a 2-parent home.
exactly.
Let me tell you my theory behind why your mother did that, because, and the reason why I feel like it's my theory is because this is the reason why I did my girls like this, because, and when the way I look at it is, one day I pray this doesn't happen, but you never know. You don't know if you're gonna wake up tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if that's the case, your child needs to know how to be more independent, to be less of a burden to the next person.
Right.
That's the reason why I did it. Naira was literally cooking full meals, like a full meal by the age of 5. I started her earlier that year when she was 4. Because someone told me to go ahead and start. So I started her earlier that year. It was either late December the year before the year she was 4, or January before she turned 5. And it was a good thing, because by December, I literally could not walk. I couldn't take care of her. And it was just me and her. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so she went there, the stove, it wasn't the gas stove, it was a regular, apartment stove. And she was in there cooking full meals. You see what I'm saying? Like, and I had everything at level to where she can reach it. So, and I feel like as a single parent, it's crucial that you teach your kids how to be more independent. And that's probably why you were more independent than this girl who had a 2-parent home, because her parents were probably doing everything for her.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
So I stopped my mom doing my laundry at 13. So
yep.
Like, I could do my own laundry. I know how to separate the colors, the white.
Oh shoot! Speaking of, I got to tell Naira to go do the laundry.
No, I'm saying, I'm like
being so serious.
I'm like, dude. So obviously, being in a 2-parent home is not exactly advantageous to everybody, though. So
I mean, it's a good thing because you have that support,
right?
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get more into that later, but at the same time, it's not like a staple. It's not net. I mean, it's necessary, but it's not necessary. If that makes sense. If right. You don't have it, you don't have it. You see what I'm saying? Oh no, I need you. Hold on.
Well, when I left my children, I said, hey, I'm about to give you some beer and cigarettes. And one of my children is like, hey, you don't smoke cigarettes.
200 of your kids?
Yeah, 200 by 300 different women. Yep. No, but all right, quick question though. I mean, did you ever thought you was gonna be in this position though?
No. Look, I got married at 18, 19. Mm. Oh shoot, I forgot to go pick the paper up. I got married. Naira. When I got married, the first time I got married, even the second time, but first time I got married, I was ready for marriage. I was ready to settle down. I was young. I was 19. I want to say I was 19. Mm-hmm. No, I was 18. I was. Hey, go ahead. The timer went off. Go ahead and do the laundry. The timer went off for your break, your nap. Go ahead and do the get all the clothes together. Go ahead and take care of the clothes, please, before it gets too late. It's already almost 4. I gotta get that laundry done today. Sorry. So anyway, no, of course not. I didn't think that I was gonna be. This is not part of the plan. What happened? Let me tell you how this happened. So like I said, I was 18. I want to say I was 18 going on 19. I was 18 going on 19 when we met. I was 19, I want to say, when we got married. He begged me for 3 months to get married. Mm-hmm. And yeah, oh my goodness. Yeah, so he begged me for he begged me for 3 months to get married. I was like, no. I thought he was trying to marry me for immigration reasons. And I was like, no. But he was like, I'm not trying to be a citizen. And I was like, all right. So finally went to the courthouse, got married. The day we got married was literally the day okay. So we went to the courthouse to get married. He dropped me off at work in my vehicle, right? I'm paying all the bills. He didn't have a job. So that was, and I was young. He was 26. I was like 18, 19. He was 26. And so we went on, no, I was 19 when we got married. And so we went to the courthouse, got married. After that, he dropped me off at work. He did whatever he wanted to do or whatever. He came back to come pick me up. Now, he and I had, before we had like a playful type relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like he'll say something about my parents, and I'll say something about his mama or whatever. And because I love this daddy, so I really had nothing to say about his daddy. But and I remember that day, that night on the way home, it was raining. I'll never forget. On the way home, I was driving, and he had said something about my parents in a joking manner. And then I was like, oh, something, your mama, like that. And he socked me in my jaw.
What?
I swerved and swerved back. We almost ended up in a ditch. And I was like, bro, why'd you hit me? And he was like, don't be talking about my mama. I was like, we do this all the time. Why are you hitting me? This is the same day we got married. I was not exposed to abuse. I was not to that. And I was never. My parents never. My daddy has never put his hands on my mama. My daddy did not disrespect my mama like that. Period. And so when that happened, I only saw things like that on TV. You see what I'm saying? And so I didn't know what to do. I was like, goodness, I'm married. I mean, I'm young, still young-minded, so naive. And so, dang, I was like, we just got married. And I was in mid-shock, Again, we were living in, matter of fact, his name was on that lease because we moved in together. Mm-hmm. But again, he wasn't paying any bills. When I say no bills, it was all on me. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay. And so I didn't know what to do. And I was like, all right. Long story short, throughout the rest of the relationship, it was like that. It was abuse. It wasn't just, that was just the first initial. And I think he did that to test me. And because I didn't do anything about it, it got worse. He beat me on a regular, always beat me on a regular. When I was pregnant, next I ended up getting pregnant. And because I think he knew that I was going to leave him. And then so I ended up getting pregnant. And then, because at that point, I didn't think I could get pregnant. But I got pregnant. And then the abuse, it just seemed like it got worse. And the thing is, he would be the one going out to cheat. He would go cheat. He would come back in. I knew he was cheating because I could smell it on him. And it's not like he even took a shower to try to cover it up. You know what I'm saying? And then it'll be some days he had the audacity to get in our bed while smelling like someone else's cooch. Like, so when he did that, because I got OCD, and it's like my skin just kept crawling on me, and that's what it felt like. And I was like, I couldn't do it. So I'll roll out of bed and I'll sleep in the living room if I had to. You know what I'm saying? But every time he cheated, I literally did not mention anything about it because I didn't want that to be a trigger for him. I didn't want that to be a reason why he beat me. One day he came home. He was out all night. Mind you, when he leaves and go out, he's in my car. Okay? And I'm the one who put gas in that car. Matter of fact, I'm the one who paid for his phone and his phone bill. That's a whole nother story. But anyway, well, I guess it's the same story. But anyway, so he goes out. I remember one day he go out. He come back. Anyway, long story short, you get the gist. So it was an abusive, toxic relationship, whatever. And it got to the point I didn't know what to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I remember when he was beating me, I was like, you gonna sit here and beat me and I'm pregnant with your child? You see what I'm saying? And then one day, and he didn't care. He tried to kill me and when I was 9 months pregnant, he was like, I'm killing you and this MFing baby, all because this happened on a Monday. This was like the first Monday in August of 2005. The Sunday before, we went over our plan for the next day. The plan for me for the next day was for me to go ahead and get started at school. Go ahead and go down to the school and see what I need to do. Go ahead and get started for nursing. All that. because I had at that point, because I was 9 months pregnant, I think it was like 2 weeks prior, I begged him to get a job. I was like, we're going to be homeless if you don't get a job. I said, my job let me go. Unemployment's not going to cover the bills. That's the only reason why he got a job. Okay. So he had got a job. So that Monday morning, he was supposed to go to work. I was supposed to drop him off at work, go to the school, go ahead and get started with my class, check on, figuring out what I'm supposed to do with school. Mm-hmm. And I had a doctor's appointment that day for the baby because it was so close. I was 9 months pregnant. I had a doctor's appointment. And the morning of, I saw him on the phone with this dude, his friend named Mike C. I didn't care for Mike C. Mike C sold drugs. You already know, I'm a square of the squares. I don't do anything drug related. When I saw Mike C had a rock in my car, I already told, I'm calling him, my husband at the time. I told him, I said, hey, I don't want him in my car. I don't want him around me. I don't want him, because if he get caught up, my name should not be associated with it because I don't do it. He agreed. But all of a sudden, when it came down to Mike C, things changed. You know what I'm saying? Everything it just out the window. So Monday morning come around. Again, he was on the phone with Mike C. I knew something was up. All of a sudden, Mike C wanted him to pick him up. They were supposed to hang out that day. And I was like, you got to go to work. What are you talking about? You got to go to work. I said, what about we talked about this. You got to go to work. I got to go to school after my doctor's appointment. You already not going to my doctor's appointment with me. I got to go there on my own. And then the doctor I had was horrible, so end up having to get up early that morning, go get Mike C, came back. We had to leave the house twice because Mike C went at the McDonald's and said he was, and we had to go to another McDonald's. Anyway, came back and I was like, this is a mess. I said, well, I'm gonna go to my doctor's appointment. I'll be back to take y'all to work, because he claimed that Mike C was supposed to go to work with him that day. He was just lying. And I was like, all right, I'll go. I'm going to my doctor's appointment. I'll be back. Went to my doctor's appointment, came back, and I was like, are y'all ready to go? He was like, give me the keys. And I was like, what do you mean? I said, I'm dropping y'all off. He was like, no, give me the keys. He was like, me and Mike C going, what did he say? He said it was going somewhere. And I was like, no, that wasn't part of the plan. I need to go start school. He was like, no. So I don't know if it was because Mike C was there, because this is the worst beating he has given me. That day he tried to kill me. And because I had my keys in my hand, and I was like, no. And so, and I turned around, walked off. It was in the room. It was in our room. I turned around, walked off. As soon as I didn't have my braids in my hair, he grabbed my hair, pulled me back, and started beating me. And I was like, I'm not giving you these keys. So I got up at that point, and somehow we ended up in a closet. And he had pushed. I walked in the closet. I think to go change my clothes. Something. And he was like, "You're not going anywhere." Da da da. And he had punched me, and I was like, and then at that point, I said, "Look, if you hit me again, I'm gonna start defending myself." And he gave this little smirk, like, "What?" He had punched me again to the point I fell on the floor, because at that point my keys had fell on the floor. He punched me again to where I fell on the floor. And my hand just happened to be right there in my keys where I got it. Had the little key poking up, my car key. I came back and I swung and I hit him. He got that scar. Still got that scar. And blood went everywhere. I was like, dang. I know he gonna kill me now. And that's exactly what he tried to do. He tried to kill me. He said, he grabbed me, pulled me out the closet. He was beat me in the closet. Then he pulled me out the closet, beat me on the bed, he was throwing me against the wall. Like, that day, Naira should not have made it. The doctor said she was not going to make it. And the only way the police came was because my neighbor called the police. And then later found out, she was like, I hear every time he beats you. You know what I'm saying? So the only reason why I stayed in that relationship, because I tried to get out that week, but my mama convinced me to stay in that relationship. And so that's why I stayed longer. And then that's why when I hear people say, oh, baby mamas, you don't know the reason.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he did not. So to answer your question, no, I did not expect to be a single mother.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I did not expect for this not to be long term, because who wants to get married and it be a short term situation? You know what I'm saying? You can really date or, whatever, for that, you know. But that's never been me. I've always been a type of person who wanted to settle down, wanted to get married. Because I know for a fact I'm a good wife, you know. And I'm not just saying it, just say it. I know I am. Even he even said I was. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, we had a conversation years after this, saying how, you know, that was the whole reason why he wanted me married. That's why he was begging me for 3 months for me to marry him, because he said he saw what type of person I am. He didn't want anyone else to have me. He just wanted me to grow up. Those were his words. He wanted me to wait till he grew up. And as he said, that's the reason why he had made sure I got pregnant.
That never works.
It didn't. Yeah, it didn't work. And I'm like, and it's crazy because, when I hear guys say, baby mama, and it's like, and another thing was, I knew he had one child prior to me. I didn't know about the second one because he kept lying about that one, you know. And I found out that it was true after I was pregnant. To me at that point, it was too late. It is what it is, you know. And so, and it's nothing ever against the way I look at it. And I know I'm different than a lot of other females or I'm not gonna say a lot, but a few females or whatever. Because the way I look at it is never the kid's fault. You know, so even Naira, when she got older, she had wanted to know more about her sisters. I did the research. I found these girls, found the mother, and I spoke to the mother of the oldest one. She got a connection with the other girl, to where the girls now are connected. You know, they're not as close as I would love for them to be, but at least she has that access to her sisters. You know what I'm saying? Right. And to her older sister, her younger siblings, no. And it's like, I'll ask a question, like I'll always ask a question, because she has younger siblings by another chick. I don't think that, I know at one point they got married, but judging by what I saw, I don't think they're married anymore. But he had at least like 6 other kids by this other chick, right? And I remember I was on his Facebook, because Naira actually pointed it out. She was like, look at this. And I was like, oh my goodness. I said, oh, he highlighting these kids and he's proud of the first one, but he want to sit here and say the second one isn't his and don't even mention you. Like, the family didn't know nothing about Naira. I said, it's crazy. I wonder why. She says, because we're the dark-skinned ones. And I started looking at everything. And I was like, wow, that makes plenty of sense. Plenty of sense, because he straight denied the other one, and he don't even say nothing about this one. And you look at everyone else, I'm like, makes sense. But yeah, that's off topic. But anyway, yeah, so that answers that question.
Okay. Well, I mean, these questions are not, formal or anything like that. You just little.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Even with my second marriage, I wasn't planning on being single. You know, matter of fact, I'm gonna bleed on to that. Because I was married twice. Right. My second marriage, I tried to make that one work. He was a narcissist too, you know, and I tried to make that. I really tried to make that one work. I've asked for I begged for him for us to go to counseling. You know, he didn't want to go to counseling. He accused me of saying that I was gonna bad talk him, and I was like, that's not even in my character. You know what I'm saying?
He's going what?
He accused me of saying that I was gonna bad talk him, like just bad talk him, like, you know,
right.
Talk about, yeah. And so I was like, that's not even my character or whatever. And I was like, you know, I was begging for him to. And the thing is, I wanted that marriage to work because I didn't. It's like that was my second marriage. You know what I'm saying? It literally had nothing to do with money, because he was taking I was working 2 jobs and going to school at one point. Every money that came in, every penny that came in for me, literally went to him. You know what I'm saying? And he would send over money to my account for me to pay the bills, only enough to pay the bills. And then he would send me gas money, $20 a year, $20, but it went straight to my gas. If he wanted something or we went out to whatever, he had control over the money. And like, it's just silly. And I'm the one, because he lives in Mississippi. I'm the one who spent my money to move out there. I saved up a lot of money. This is before him. I started saving so we can have, because I had just, this is when I used to work for Neiman Marcus, the whole situation in Marcus left me and my daughter homeless, right? And so at that time, we ended up staying with my daddy for a little bit. I was saving up money. I had enough money to move into our own place and have rent ready for 6 months. He convinced me, because he knew how much money I had. He convinced me to use that money to go move out there with him. I did that. I paid for us to move out there. When I got out there, it was nothing but a trap. Because then I wasn't allowed to go, see the family. I wasn't allowed to make friends or anything. But the first week we moved out was a major red flag. But at that point, all my money's gone. Right. You know what I'm saying? He started abusing me the same week. And I later found out he was literally talking to other females, telling them that he's looking for a wife while I'm laying in his bed. Disrespectful. So, where's my water? Yeah. So even after that, I was like, we're here now. Let's try to make it work. But I realized later that the only reason why he married me was because when I got on working for him, it was actually the first job, my main job. It came with good benefits. He needed benefits, and because he wanted to get his teeth fixed. And so, and I remember I told him, I said, well, I can't put IG on benefits if we're not married, because we had talked about marriage before, but then.
Actually, let me correct you on something. You could have put him on your benefits as a what's that bullshit? Not marriage, but a civil union.
They didn't do all that.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
That was in Mississippi.
Oh yeah, that's
they
right.
They didn't do that. Right. They were very specific about that. They said you have to be married.
Oh yeah, that's Mississippi. Never mind.
Yeah, you have to be married. And so on my way back from training, because training was out of town. On my way back from training, he was like, meet me at the courthouse. We literally had minutes before they were closed. I'm excited. I'm like, yes, we're getting married. Not thinking that, not looking at what it was, that he just was doing it just to get the benefits. And so did that. It was right, matter of fact, it was right around my birthday, which is tomorrow. And so, yeah, I know. And so anyway, we got married. I'm thinking, yes, this is good. Da, da, da. But the moment I quit that job, I love that job, but I quit because the staff and the coworkers and all that were just, it was too much to where I literally had to go on medical leave 3 times because my blood pressure got stroke level. Ooh. He got so mad at me and started talking about some divorce. And I'm like, and it got to the point to where I'm like, if you want a divorce, you file the paperwork, I'll sign it. I got tired of it. At that point, I was done because I'm like, I begged for counseling, for us to go to counseling. He didn't want to do it. I went to counseling on my own, but he didn't want to go to counseling. He didn't want to go to marriage counseling. And I'm like, if you don't want to do that, you're not trying to save the relationship. You're not even worried about the relationship. You know what I'm saying? And all of that. And so, and he, not only that, he enjoyed kicking me and my daughter out, knowing we didn't have a place to go. Knowing my brother's family is in Jackson, Mississippi. I talked to them for a little bit. They were awesome. Invited us up to their place just to visit. He told me if I were to go up there, I stay and don't come back. Knowing I had nowhere to go, knowing he had all my money. And I said, that's not fair. I said, because they're inviting us as a family to come visit. He said it again. If you want to go up there, you go up there, but don't come back. He accused me of having sex with my cousin. My first cousin, my blood cousin. Because my cousin, he lives in Detroit. He called me. I think he was like drunk and high. And he doesn't normally call. So this particular day he called and I was like, oh my goodness, my cousin called. But I was unexpecting it. I was unexpecting the call and I had my shirt off. But when I answered it, the only thing you could see was this up. Literally this up. And so it's not like he knew I didn't have a shirt on. Oh, and when I answered it, I was sitting on the couch and my husband at the time was sitting on the other end, the second husband, and he's just looking at me. And he goes, oh, I see. No, these are clean. And so I was like, I'm looking like, what? I said, well, I said, you drunk, huh? He was like, yeah, I'm drunk, high. Da, da, da. I was like, well, call me back when you're sober. And so, because I knew I had to get on the phone by the way he was looking at me. And so I was like, okay, so I got his phone. I'm looking like, what's the issue? Because I had it at an angle to where he could see, but my cousin couldn't see him.
Right.
So he could see everything. You can see what he see, and you can see what I see. So you seen everything. Then he had access to my Facebook because he had my passwords and all that on his phone. He had access to my emails because he had all that on his phone. He had access to everything. And then he had it was like a tracker on my phone to where he knew where I was every moment. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, and first of all, it's not in me to sneak. It's not in me to cheat. It's not in me to do all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he was treating me like it was. And so as soon as I hung up the phone with my cousin, oh, so you sleeping with your cousin now, huh? That's probably not even your cousin. We legit have the same last name. What you talking about? It's not like we got the last name Johnson. That's a common last name. Our last name is not. Is not. So no Ellie. What? You want a watermelon? Go get some watermelon. All you have to do is ask nicely. Stop crying. You're okay. Just say watermelon, please. She just woke up, so she's in her sleepy mode. So anyway, so I'm like, you're accusing me of incest.
No.
Right. And you're also accusing me of doing something that's literally not in my nature. I literally don't understand the concept of cheating. When I say that, I mean I literally don't understand the concept of it. Why be with a person? I guess because with me, I've always been the type of person to where when I date with purpose. I'm like, my end goal is marriage. Now, It may not be the guy's end goal because I seem to be played a lot, but it's an end goal. Why is she screaming? And so, is she coming? It sounds like she's coming this way. She just woke up. It's my 3-year-old, y'all. I don't apologize for my kids. It is what it is. Right. I got kids, so I'm not going to apologize. But, so she just woke up and she wants some watermelon. But anyway, so, okay, so like I said, he got an enjoyment of kicking us out. And I remember one day my Naira, she came to me and she was like, because she heard him threaten me before, how she saw the abuse, how he would throw me on the bed and choke me and all that. And then, and it'd be over stupid stuff. Like the first time he told us, he was like, get your things and get out. I'm not going to argue with you. You're right. This little shack is yours. You want to call it a house, but this little shack is yours. Literally, dude said it should have been demolished. But anyway, I was like, you're right. This is yours. I'll get my things and get out. I'm not going to argue with nobody. If I'm in your space and you tell me to get out, I'm not going to argue with you. I said, all right, get my things and I'm going. Exactly like that. I said, Naira, get your things. Let's go. We start packing up our stuff. As I'm packing up my stuff, he grabs me, throw me on the bed, start choking me out. Where do you think you're going? I don't know. You told me to leave. I'm going to figure it out.
Right.
You know? And then so he did that. I ended up having to call the police. So I was like, I just need y'all here because he's sitting here trying to choke me out. And then again, this is the first week we here. The first week. The very first week. And then Naira, it just only got worse because Naira later, because he even told me that he didn't have a problem with killing me, throwing me in the Mississippi River. And he was like, he says, I can get away with it because he said, you're an out of towner. That's what he said. He says, you're an out of towner. They're not going to miss you. That's exactly what he said. And I was like, I looked him dead in the face. I said, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You can do that. I'm not going to argue with you. You can do that. I'm not going to say you can't because you can. Right. You kill me, throw my body in the Mississippi River. You can do that. It happens, you know? And I guess he thought I was scared. But at that point in my life, I'm like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? My daughter, that's the only thing I'm worried about is her. You know what I'm saying? Her safety. So I remember one day she came to me. She said, if he does anything to you, she says, I'm running away. She said, I'm making my way back to Texas. She said it just like that. So in other words, if he was to kill me, she's going to figure out how to get back here to get to my dad's house. I said, you will never make it. She said, I don't care. She said, I don't care if I die. She said, I'm gonna try. She said, I can't be with him. I can't be around him. So when she said that, that was a reality that slapped me in my face that this is not gonna work. So we did it again, later, and he was like, he came in and he was like, get your things and get out. No. That day, that second time he did it, he tried to argue. And I was like, I said, because he's very argumentative. I looked at him in the face, I'm not going to argue with you. I said, you're coming in trying to argue. And I said, I'm not going to argue with you. And then so he kept trying to find, he was looking around the house. Then he started saying things. Then he said something about my daddy. He was like, no, he said, because I think he felt like intimidated by my daddy, because we went to go visit my daddy. He saw the house. And ever since then, he had like a major issue. Oh, you think you're better than me and da-da-da. And I was like, first of all, that's not in me to think that. Second of all, if I did, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
I definitely would not be here if I thought that. I would not be here inhaling all this black mold if I thought that. You know what I'm saying? So, and putting up with everything he put me through, I would not have done it. Right. But anyway, so he couldn't find anything. So he went, because he was trying to argue, and I was like, I'm not arguing with you. I was still working on my laptop. I'm not going to argue with you. And then he said something about my daddy. I said, that's fine. You say what you want to say about my daddy. That's fine. I'm not going to argue with you. And then finally he was like, you want a divorce? Go ahead and pull up the divorce. I said, I didn't say nothing about divorce, but if that's what you want, you go ahead, pull up the paperwork. I said, I'll gladly sign. Let me know. And then he was like, get your things and get out. Da, da, da. I said, all right. I shut my laptop. Naira, go ahead and get your things. We leaving. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, I was already over it, because he already had me feeling like we were just nothing but like second help. He allowed his it wasn't even his son, but he was 13, and it was his ex's son, who he considered his own, which is funny. He considered him his son, but with my child, he was like, oh, that's just her baby. That's her child. They were literally I think they're like 2 years apart. He's 2 years older than her. And a year or two. Well, one day he jumped on me, the boy. He was a little taller than me, and he's a boy. And Naira at the time, this is before he kicks out, Naira was sick, and she wasn't trying to play around. So he was over with his sister, which is his sister is his son, Mike's son. And so Naira was sick. She wasn't trying to feel it or whatever. She was in bed, and so he kept going in the room, messing with her. And I went in there. I was like, so I laid down in the bed next to her. I said, hey, just give her some time. I said, she's sick. This and other. And he was like, I don't care. And then I was like, no. So he grabbed my glasses and threw them. And I was like, I need those, bro. I literally can't see without my glasses. So I get to get my glasses. He jumps on me. And I said, stop. I said, you need to go ahead and get off of me. Stop. And he was like, no, da, da, da. And he was like playing around. And it's not like anything's mentally wrong with this boy. He's in his right mind. And he's playing around. And then somehow I ended up on the floor, because he grabbed me, and then I ended up losing my balance. And I was like, stop. I said, you play too much. And I said, you need to stop. I said, I'm going to tell your daddy. He says, the boy says to my face, he says, tell him, I don't care. He's going to believe me and not you. And you're the one that's going to get in trouble. When I say those words became true, that's exactly what happened. I'm the one who got choked out that night, yelled at and cussed at that night. When I said, only thing I said was, hey, I said, are you on your way? I texted him, I said, are you on your way home? Because I said, your son is being too much. Because he ran out, he jumped out the window. Then he told his daddy, that I pushed him out the window. Why would I? Right. And then so he was like, what, you want me to not believe him and believe you? Are we serious? You know what I'm saying? I was like, and you know how this kid is. And I've been here long enough to where you know how I am. Why would I push your child out the window? Make it make sense. And then on top of that, are we serious? My glass was scratched or something. It was scratched or whatever. And I was like, so what? I'm making this up. And so I was like, don't worry about it. I said, I'm telling you, I said, I'm not saying to punish him, but you need to talk to him. Because how many times I told him no and to stop, him being a black boy could easily turn to rape if it was the wrong person. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It can easily turn into, oh, I was raped if it was the wrong person. I said, you need to talk to him. It's for his safety.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, he's disrespecting your wife. And so, and I was like, wow. I said, you know what? He said that you was going to do that. And I said, but it's cool. It's fine. I said, that's your son. You got to deal with that. It's not my child. You know what I'm saying? If he end up in jail because he don't know what no means and stop means, that's not my child. Anyway, he ended up kicking us out for the second time. At that point, I was like, I was done. I literally didn't have a penny to my name because he had it. And he already did something under the hood of my car to where it stopped, like it won't start all the time. It wouldn't start all the time. So, and we ended up having to sleep. We were homeless. You know what I'm saying? And then I had a coworker of mine. She ended up taking us, her and her family took us in for a little bit, and then finally we got our own place. But like he got mad because I would not take him back. You know what I'm saying? Because after him kicking us out a week later, he was like, "Oh, by the way, y'all can come back." No, I'm not going through this cycle with you again. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Toxic. And so ever since then, he was literally had an out for me. I had someone forward me a screenshot of what he sent someone else's wife, saying that me and her husband were sleeping together, and that I need to he said, you need to handle her to handle me. This is right after I finally got my own place out there. I finally got my own place. He somehow had my address. It's a small town. And I was like, this is foolishness. Foolishness. So yeah, so no, I did not expect to be not married. You know what I'm saying? Because I've always been ready to be married and always been ready to settle down. But that was then. But
I got you. Nah, but do you have any bitterness though? You know what I'm saying? Do you have like?
I forgive him. I forgave, and the reason, and that's what helped me. Like at first, I did with my first husband. I was very bitter. I was very hurt. I was very, and, that's how I can spot when people are bitter, because I was once bitter, and because when I was bitter, I hated every man. If you had a third leg, I didn't like you. You see what I'm saying? I didn't want to have nothing to do with you. You just need to die. To me, I was like, but when I realized that bitter feeling or whatever was still them controlling me. You see what I'm saying? It was still a form of control. So I was like, okay, so I ended up having to just forgive them. Start forgiving people. I didn't forgive them and say, hey, I forgive you. No, in my heart, I forgive them and I let it go. I forgave and let it go. But I'm not a fool to go back to what caused me to get bitter in the first place. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but no, I don't have any bitterness. I don't have any regrets. And the reason why I say that is because everything I went through matured me and opened my eyes a lot. You see what I'm saying? To more of an understanding of what the next person can go through or what the next person is going through. And which, for example, like when people talk about these baby mamas, it's like you have no idea what that baby mama went through. You see what I'm saying? Right. You literally, you don't know, and she didn't just sign up, do like a sign up form and just babies was just sent to her. No, someone had sex with her. She had sex with someone and she got pregnant. And that's how that went. Whether it was intentional or unintentional, you know what I'm saying? All three of my kids, they were never planned, but it happened. And it is what it is. And I love them all.
Right. That's cool.
But no bitterness, none.
All right. That's cool. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's cool. I mean, I went through a journey like that myself, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But we'll get to that. We'll get to that later. I just got one more question for you,
though. One more? That's it?
Yeah. Well, okay. I mean, one more. This is can't have this going too long because if I keep asking you questions, it's gonna go on until like damn near midnight, though. You know what I'm saying? So,
That is true. I hadn't even started making your stuff, bro. Okay, go ahead.
I mean, I'm just saying though, if I keep asking you questions, because I do have a lot of questions though. But if I ask all of them, we'll be here the next day. What tomorrow?
Ask me 5. This is your third. You can ask me 5 then.
I'll do 5.
I like these questions.
All right. So let me ask you something, though, man. With these men, how did you say to yourself, okay, these men right here are the specifically men I want to get with? What was in your mind that said that these are the men that I would want, though? You know what I'm saying? Well,
as you see, I'm chocolate. So chocolate is never really anyone's top pick. So it's not like I chose them. Well, okay. Anyway. Anyway,
hold on. Before you get
you're
to
rare. Okay, go ahead.
before you get to the company, I do have to use the bathroom because
Go ahead.
I'm about to pause this real quick. So
Okay.
all right. So the question is, what? I mean, what was it about these particular men that you got with? What was it about them that said to yourself, "Hey, I want to get with these guys right here"? What was
Okay. Naive, being naive for one. Two, my first, because they're different reasons. So, like I mentioned earlier, like I'm chocolate. Not too many people like chocolate girls. So it's not like I had like a flock of guys trying to give it me and I had options. You see what I'm saying? And so, um, but when I did, I didn't just take what first came to me. And so, but again, it goes back to me being naive. Like my first one, my first marriage. Hold on. My first marriage. I've always been attracted to older guys, for one. And so, like anyone my age, literally my age and younger, no thanks. But with the first one, like I said, I was 18 when we met, and he was 26. And when this is gonna sound silly, and again, it goes back to being naive and gullible. Oh my goodness, and blissfully blind. But what it was so when he approached me, let me first set up the scene. Oh, this thing's trying to fall off. When he approached me, I was a CNA. I was his daddy's aide. I loved his daddy. And when he had walked in the room or whatever, I was like, I could tell he was mixed, but I know he was like his dad is Mexican, and so I didn't know, and I was like, who is this dude coming in to see him? Just either was cool. So anyway, I walked out the next day and I see him like peeking at me or whatever. I kind of like ignored it or whatever because I was like, I know he just, I didn't think he was attracted to me. I was like, whatever. The next day he came back and he spoke to me, and when he talked, when we talked, whew, this is gonna sound so sad, but he said that he was like, I'm gonna be honest with you. He said, I just got out of prison yesterday, the day that you saw me. He said, I had to come see my daddy. And he was like, I just got out of prison. He didn't tell me why. I still to this day don't know why. He was even in prison. He was in prison for a long time. And he was like, but I want to go ahead and talk to you. He was like, I don't have a phone or anything right now, but he's like, I do stay with my mother, whatever. But he said, if you don't mind, I do want to get to know you, da da da. He gave me his brother's phone number to contact him until he got a phone or whatever, which I think I ended up buying him his first phone when he got out. That's a different story. So that right there, I was like, oh my goodness, you're so honest. That got me because I felt that he was being honest. And to me, that's a big, even to this day, that's a major portion of me even being attracted to you, even as a friend. You know what I'm saying? To where honesty. So I felt like he was being honest. And that's what attracted me to him, was I felt he was being honest. It's never really been like looks or anything. It's just more of, I guess, a vibe, or if I thought that we're good, we're cool together or whatever, as on that level to where we can get married. If he's talking about marriage later down the line and I could possibly be that wife, then yes, I was on board. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. That mainly was it, because again, my end goal has always been marriage. And so I don't know. Like I can't really think, because like if you like my second husband, he was tall. I never really was attracted to tall guys, but I ended up marrying my second husband, and he is 6'2" and close to 600 pounds. It's like 598 or something. And so he was huge, but I loved it. You know what I'm saying? I love the fact that he was huge. And man, when I say like even with guys, and it was weird because whenever I was in a relationship, guys would start all of a sudden start wanting to talk to me. And I would even, when I was outside of being married, I always say I was married. You know what I'm saying? Because I always respected our relationship and I would look at him as a husband, even though we weren't at that stage yet. But I don't know. I was a lot of the times I was young and just like, oh my goodness, honesty. That's really what it was. Honesty.
Mm.
That's really what attracted me. Honesty and yeah, because it definitely I can't say money because that's not in me. And then they didn't have it.
Mm-hmm.
Can't say looks. They weren't ugly. I'm not gonna say they're ugly. They weren't bad looking.
Right.
But I mean, they weren't really like people didn't really run to them either. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I can't say security because that just wasn't it. I don't know. And that honestly, that was it. Just being honest. I guess that now, I'm thinking about it. It was really mainly just honesty. And so maybe I should increase my list. Well, I'm not really in the market right now, so I don't know.
Right, I got you.
But I don't know. What's your other question?
All right. Well, my other question is this. I mean, what was your like? Let me ask you this though.
Okay.
Has he? Well, we already covered that one. Um, let's see. What's other? Oh yeah. Question is this:
Yeah, go ask
if
Snyder to open it.
if they if they come back 2 days and says I want to see my children, would you let them?
Absolutely. But let me tell you this. Okay, my thing is about security. My thing is about safety. And I look at each situation as it is. So with Naira legally, he can't have anything to do with her. And legally, the visitation goes on how I see fit. And when she was 6, I remember the arbitrator, she looked at how he never visited her or anything. There's no contact or anything. And I remember she looked at it and she went over the paperwork and she sat back, she looked at me, and then she looked at him. She was like, "Is she keeping your child from you?" He leaned over and looked dead in Naira's face and no, I don't want anything to do with the child. So with that, I would never force it because first of all, he's
Right.
already violent. He's already hurt her while abusing me, you know. And I mean, when she was like a few months old, he was abusing her. And then he's already made the statement saying that he would rather have her killed than to pay child support. So in that instance, and even when I told the arbitrator uh before she looked at the documents and all that, she asked about visitation and all that. And I said, she said, how do I feel about it? And I was like, well, I said, well, at that point, I said, well, some time has passed. So I don't know, maybe he's matured, but I would like for him to, spend time with her while I'm there in the presence and as long as another party, a
Right.
neutral party is there as well.
Right.
And then when he said that, and I was like, oh, he's not ready. So, um, and now she's 16. She's old enough to, you know, she doesn't want anything to do with him. But what I did was because I want her to have something to do with the family. That's still her blood. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So I did reach out to her uncle, his brother, the one who's was saying. I reached out to him, and I mean he's still pretty cool. He was cool back then. He's still pretty cool to this day. But
Mhm.
I understand he has his life and his own thing going on to where he's not proactive in having anything to do with her, which is hurtful because I see it bothers her. You see what I'm saying? That she doesn't want anything to do with her father, but she still want to have something to do with that family because that's still part of her. She wants to get to know her side, the other side. And so there's only so much I can do. I reached out to find her siblings, and I reached out to get in contact with her uncle and all of that. But as far as with him, as far as I know, to my knowledge, he's still doing his own thing with the drugs and stuff like that. So no, for safety reasons, I don't feel comfortable with that. Now with the second one, We could definitely meet in a mutual place. Like, okay, I don't mind driving to Mississippi if I'm visiting. And I've actually thought about doing this before the whole virus situation. I've actually was planning on going out there and meeting at a mutual place, but not to give him a heads up that we're going out there, but to tell him that, hey, we're here. If you want to come see your child, this is where we're at. And the reason why I say I didn't want to give him a heads up because the sneaky stuff, trying to hurt me and all that. Like, I don't have time for someone to try to plan something for us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To hurt us and all that. Like, hey, we here. You have the opportunity to come see your child while we're here in, you know, in a public setting. I don't mind that. That I don't mind. And it's like, I will love it, you know what I'm saying? But that's not what it is. Now, for the last one, because you know more about that situation. So for the last one, it's like my thing is, if the father didn't want the child initially, you don't want the child now. And he tried, and he can deny this all he wants, but the pudding's in the proof is in the pudding. He tried to have me have an abortion. Not abortion, but a miscarriage. He tried to have me have a miscarriage, and he was trying to do it slick, be slick about it. To the third time he did it, I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, that's why he's being mad weird. You know what I'm saying? Because normally he's not, he was acting out of character. I think I told you about those times, didn't I? Yeah. And so, and I was like, I know I'm not crazy, and I know I'm not just sitting here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you tried to do harm to this child before she was here, and then so I was like, okay, I can kind of forgive you for that a little bit, but at the same time, I don't feel comfortable with him around her. And then when and at least not by himself, and even with the whole situation of, you know, the fact that he's a download dude and he doesn't want anyone to know, and the whole video situation, it's so much.
You know what?
I don't.
I just gotta say this before you continue. I get so sick and tired of people using down low as that stupid ass bullshit. But when I was growing up, down low meant I got one girl over here, I got one girl over there, but I don't want her to find out about her, so keep it on the DL. That's down low I know. You know what I'm saying?
He got one girl over here, 20 over there, 5 dudes over here, 50 dudes over there. He got couples over here. Like, he got people everywhere, and he's smashing everybody. Like, he just, to me, I feel like he, even though he's 10 years older than me, he is not mature enough for a child, because I've realized that he's the type to where he will deny a kid if there's no DNA test involved, but he would avoid taking DNA tests. And so he has at least 2 kids out there, mine and a son, you know, and he denies them, which is sad. And my thing, if you're going to deny your child, you shouldn't have anything to do with that child. You don't want them in the first place. And I'm not about to push anything on anyone. Now, I understand people change. So I don't mind, like, if he decided, you know, had a change of feelings or whatever, and started feeling bad and all that, and he genuinely wants to see his child, and he's not trying to do anything sneaky, because him and his boyfriend already told me I better not, you know, nobody better know, and it's not other that, you know, them two like to smash. So being that, you know, I didn't say anything, but when there's proof and they know, you know, it's, you know, anyway, I think they just trying to cover their tracks. And I don't trust the situation because of how he's trying to cover his tracks about him liking dudes. I mean, I think is, you are who you are. It doesn't, to me, just be on, like, again, it's about honesty. Just be honest. And so I don't trust him around the baby at all, because I know he didn't want her initially. You know what I'm saying? And again, it goes back to the point, he tried to have me have a miscarriage at least 3 times off the top of my head I can think of. You know, I'm not gonna go into details here because you already know. Yeah. And so, and he wants to deny it, and then not only deny it, but, oh, you crazy, and this and other. And I'm like, well, what was the meaning behind your behavior? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When it's outside of your character to do X, Y, and Z. So if it wasn't a different, and mind you, I don't get child support for none of my kids, none of them. And so even if I was, it doesn't matter if I was, and even that I'm not, I don't mind them getting to know that side of their family if they want to. You know what I'm saying? If it was safe, but it's not. I don't feel like it's safe. You know what I'm saying? Which is sad. Like my oldest, I would love for her to get to know her family.
I got you.
Yeah, all of them actually, but that way, because it's a sense of identity. You know what I'm saying? Because like the older two, because they're older, the other one's just 5 months, so she still has growing to do. But the even some things she do now is things like her daddy does. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And she's only 5 months, and she'll do it, and she looked identical to him. But it's like all of them, all three of my girls look exactly like their dad. 3 different daddies, y'all. So all 3 of the girls look like their daddies. You know what I'm saying? And they're very beautiful young ladies and a baby. They're very beautiful to me. And like my oldest, she'll do things, and I'm like, you know, because it's her daddy. It's her daddy in her, you know. And then oh my goodness, the 3-year-old. It's her daddy. And it's like, oh my goodness. And it's like, I don't look at, I know some people would look at it in a negative way that, you know, oh, that's your daddy. That's your daddy. To me, it's like, it's part of their personality. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got to get it from the other side. And it didn't work out ideally, you know, but they don't have anything to do with that child. And if it's, you know, and, you know, my oldest, she gets her cooking primarily from her dad. I'm a good cook, but her daddy was a great cook. He was, and I even offered to pay for him to go to school to become a chef. I offered to pay for that out of pocket. He declined. That's how good of a cook he was. And my oldest, she gets that from him. You know what I'm saying? He liked to read. Granted, he was in jail a lot in prison, and I'm pretty sure that's what he did a lot. But he liked to read. She gets that from him. You know what I'm saying? There's some things that are not so great that she gets from him too. You know, and it's like, I would love for my kids to know where to get this from or where to get that from.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that would be like in the ideal world. But in my situation, for safety reasons, I can't. You know, I can't just be like, oh, go see your daddy, because they may not come back home.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that right there will hurt me so much. And you know, the baby, he doesn't want her. I know that, and I know he will do something to where he will try to make it look like an accident. And you know what I'm saying? Because that's his personality. He'll do something to make it look like he didn't know, and he'll play clueless. And then while someone's getting hurt behind it, and then or he'll turn around, oh, this is what you want, or something like that, to where he'll get the blame off of him. It's really all about safety. Now, if it was someone who I could trust, that'd be a different story. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, go to your daddy. Go to your daddy. You know, I would love to say go to your daddy, but that it is what it is. That's just not the way the cookie crumbled on my end, and I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I understand that though.
I love these questions.
I know, right? I mean, I understand what everything you said because, you know, when, you know, my baby mom's telling me, hey, you need to come see your child. And I said, wait a minute. I gotta come back from the store. I gotta go to the store. I need some beer and cigarettes. And you know, I don't come back ever since though, you know what I'm
So
saying?
silly.
I pump it up. I pump it in though, you know what I'm saying?
I can't do it.
I'm saying these things because I don't
That
have
is
any
so
children
silly.
though. You know what I'm saying? That's a cool
Yeah.
thing though. So I can't, since I don't have any children, I cannot say, well, you know, baby mamas do such, and baby daddy do
Yeah.
such. Because number one, obviously, I never been a baby mama. That's obvious right there. I would never be one. No man would ever, no male, natural born man will ever be a baby mom. I don't give a damn how much surgery you have.
But you do have single fathers out there, and with that, Like
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think they speak about that enough. You know
no,
what I'm
they
saying?
don't.
And that's why, like, first of all, I don't celebrate holidays, but when people say Happy Mother's Day, okay, but then when they on Father's Day, they still come around and say, "Oh, well, you're like a father too. Happy Father's Day." That irks my
Mhm.
nerves. I'm like, let
Mhm.
the men have their day. You know what I'm saying? That,
Right.
like, I can't tell you, I can't stress enough. It irks me, and people say it to me, and I'm like, don't say that to me. I'm a whole entire female up here, and they're like, I know, I just didn't know. Don't say that to me. Oh, but you do it on your, no, don't say that to me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because you wouldn't say that to a man on Mother's Day. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I'm like, just keep it fair. You know, it's a designated day for the fathers. Let them have their day. Like when I say that, that, or it's to the point to where my oldest, she'll tease me. You know, she knows I can't stand even like Valentine's Day. She know I can't stand Valentine's Day. My birthday is here and it's more important. And then or Father's Day. I can't stand when people say Happy Father's Day to a whole entire female. Like, you got the same thing I got. We both can breastfeed. Why are you getting Happy Father's Day? That doesn't make sense. You know, and so my oldest, she'll tease me. She'll say, "What you want for Father's Day?" Don't,
And
don't,
then
don't.
that's not yes, that always irked the shit out of me too, man,
Irks me. I can't stand it.
because that irked the shit out of me too. It's like, hold on,
Yeah,
how you gonna tell her Father's Day? She's a whole goddamn woman. She
a
ain't no
whole
father,
entire
and she'll
female.
never be a father. Sorry.
Never, never.
And I'm gonna be real about you. I mean, there's no possibility, it's impossibility for a woman to ever be a father. That's not
No,
gonna
there's not.
that's not gonna happen. I don't care what
And
your
I hate that. It irks me, and I'm like, you can't replace. You cannot.
yeah, that hurts the shit out.
People gotta say it's like you can't replace that. Like, it makes a big difference. I feel like, and it's like I don't care. Like me, I've been a single mama. Even when I was married, I was still really a single mother because the first marriage, he didn't want to have. Matter of fact, he wouldn't even say that's his child. He'd say that baby. You know what I'm saying? He didn't even when we and this is when we were married and living together. That he considered her as that baby. It wasn't even his daughter. It wasn't his child. It wasn't. It was just that baby. When matter of fact, when I gave birth to her, again, he's using my vehicle. Oh goodness, that whole day is ridiculous. But anyway, when I gave birth, he literally looked to make sure that the baby looked like him, and he left. Whole time he was cheating on me while I was in the hospital. The hospital had to call him to tell him to come pick me up. Yep. In the hospital by myself. In the hospital by myself. And I think at that point is what conditioned me to be okay. Be in a hospital by myself. Like my other two, well, with Ellie, my 3-year-old, I was in a hospital. My daddy actually dropped me, and that was a weird feeling because I'm not used to anyone being there for me. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And so my daddy was there, and so my daddy, well, yeah, there. So, and then Naira had wanted to be there, and so they came and visit me. You know what I'm saying? They had came to visit me, which was awkward because I'm not used to that. You
Right.
see what I'm saying?
Right.
And again, I think that first one really set the standards for me personally. Because even with my third baby, I didn't tell anyone I was pregnant. Like anyone who didn't
Yeah,
already
I
know.
didn't even
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I'm
And
like,
so I didn't want, and it was, I didn't even tell my daddy, and you know, and I was, I
well,
remember I planned it to have the baby on my own at the hospital. I didn't want anyone there. I didn't want, to me, that was, and I guess because I'm so used to, I don't have any time for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm so used to being here and there and doing everything for everyone. I was going to use that time just for me and the baby. You
right.
know, she was in NICU for like 2 days, I want to say, the first 2 days or a day and a half. Yeah, you might as well say 2 days because she came like early the morning of the third day. And so, and I remember the staff. I remember that the hospital was so amazing. I think they felt so bad because I didn't have anyone there to where they made sure they were there for me. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is not every female is blessed to have that type of environment. But
Right.
I was happy about that because I wanted to be there. I brought my laptop, everything to work. I thought I was going to work, but not realizing after having a baby, like mentally,
Mm-hmm.
like I like, for example, I filled out some paperwork or whatever, and then I remember where I filled it out. They called me. I was like, "Ma'am, da 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 da," and I was like, I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I was at the hospital. I've had so many mistakes in the paperwork." I was like, "I was at the hospital doing all this. I just had a baby." She was like, "Oh, don't worry about it. We see, understand, you know." But even at the hospital, like I didn't realize how many bags and luggages I would have to have. I needed I'm so used to doing things on my own to where, yeah, I needed help going to the bathroom. Like I literally needed help, someone just helping me walk to the bathroom. I just got what I could to just help get to the toilet, because I was so weak. And but at the same time, I don't expect for anyone to be there for me. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I guess I got so adjusted and so I'm so used to having to do everything on my own. And to where, I don't know. And I enjoyed that time, just me and my baby in the hospital. And so, yeah,
I got you. I got
yeah,
you.
I enjoyed it. I mean, I don't know. It was nothing for me to be ashamed about. And I did get the looks or whatever. But to me, again, it goes back to you don't know my story type thing.
Right.
So, I mean, I
I get
wouldn't
that.
trade that. Yeah.
I get that.
Oh my goodness, let's keep this going till 5 if you don't mind. I love
All
this.
right, all right, all right. Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, I asked you for your 5 questions though. Now,
Sorry I extended it. Oh, but I
mhm.
love this.
All right. Now, let me ask you this though.
Uh,
Let me ask you this. Well, no, I already answered. I think I already asked that question. Well, let me ask you this. In the future of things, not the near future, but in the future of things, will you get married again? And if so, would you be very careful about who you deal with?
I think my mind space right now is no. I'm gonna say that, but I don't know what the future holds. Now, if I get married again, if I decide to go ahead and date again,
Mm-hmm.
um, I know that whomever this person is, he will have to be patient and understanding with me because I'm not trying to rush anything,
Right.
and I definitely at this point, because I think honestly I was kind of like emotionally scarred from the whole getting kicked out too many times things.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, at one point when I was dating this guy, I had to kick him out because he started to be abusive towards me, and then he started towards my oldest. So having someone in my home, I probably won't because I do have girls. And so it's a whole trust situation. And then me moving into his home against trust situation, and then I don't want us to be kicked out. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So he will have to be patient and understanding that I mean, I'm not rushing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then on top of that, I I'm at the point in my life where I realized there were a lot of red flags that I saw but
Mm-hmm.
ignored. I'm no longer ignoring red flags. If I can get a sense that, hey, this is not gonna work, I'm gonna let you know up front, hey, this is not gonna work. I'm at the point in my life is to where if we are still new and you already tripping and acting a fool, we just got to cut it off. You know what I'm saying? Like when I say new, like I don't know, like new, like if you already, showing your red flags just flying out,
Right.
like I can't, after like within the first year, I don't know. It's like, and it depends on those red flags. I understand no one's perfect. I get that.
Right.
And me, I'm a type, I love flaws, but don't come to me jacked up, like to where you just want to be abusive and all crazy. When I say I love flaws, like I told you, if your teeth jacked up, I love it. Like my first husband, it looked like his whole bottom teeth looked like it looked like he was downtown. You got all them buildings, or his team was just throwing gang signs up. And I was like, I love this. How do you floss? Is it okay? I loved it. I love the what's not the cookie cutter of beauty. You know what I'm saying? With my second husband, I love the fact that he was huge. I love that, people like, you date that? And I'm like, well, I'm married to that. What are you talking about? I love it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that too played a part in him his self-conscious too, because I feel like that played a major part. Like I always call him handsome, but he would never compliment me on anything. And let me tell you, kind of wife I was. And this is just me being natural. I again going to school, working 2 jobs on the mornings that, which is every morning. Actually, if I was working nights, I would so he had to his schedule was get up at 4, leave for work at 4:30.
Mm-hmm.
My schedule,
Mm-hmm.
wake up at 3,
Mm-hmm.
go cook him breakfast,
Mm-hmm.
make him his lunch.
Mm-hmm.
So breakfast, by the time I'm done with breakfast, I'm literally walking it over to him. It's 3:59. His alarm goes off at 4. Here, babe, here's your breakfast. I go back in the kitchen. I fix his lunch, have it packed. By the time he's done with breakfast, I hand him his lunch. You have a good day, baby. I either will go back to bed or get ready for work. Okay. Mm-hmm. If I was home before he was for dinner, mm-hmm. I will hurry up and rush, cook dinner, make sure because we didn't have a shower. He had to take a bath. Make sure his bath was ready. Because my husband just came home from a long day work. Even though I'm working, doing all this and everything, running around, I still made sure he had what he needed. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Same thing when I was 19 and married. That's just how I am naturally. I learn your routine and I cater to it. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I, all that arguing and stuff, that's for the birds. I don't need it. And my second husband, he liked to argue. I didn't like it. So you're right, baby, you're right, or whatever. I just wanted to entertain it. It was, and like him kicking me out, he would literally, the first time he came up with a reason saying that I cheated on him. And I was like, that's just impossible. First of all, it's not, because the guy he said I cheated on him with was my ex, who was out here in Houston. And we're out there. And mind you, like I mentioned, he had an app on my phone. He knew my location. And if I didn't answer the phone when he called, I was being cussed out. But it's like, where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? And so anyway, I'm very submissive. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm not to be controlled. And I think people get that confused. I'm not to be controlled, but I'm submissive. So, and on top of that, I enjoyed being a wife. Now, I don't know if they just weren't ready to be married, or I don't know. And then his first kid's mother was mad disrespectful in some ways towards our relationship. And he didn't do nothing to correct that. But I didn't say anything about it. And I'm looking like, wow, she gonna really pop that booty in front of you, in front of me too. Okay. So okay, I was like, wow. But I would never argue about it. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I would never, it's crazy. And even when I see things that's not working, I would try to find ways to work on it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, hey, you want to go to counseling or whatever. I would do what I can to keep the relationship on a float, on an up and up, But if I'm the only one fighting for us, there's no reason for me to fight. You see what I'm saying? Right. And that's how I see it, like even in the future, if I just feel like, because I'm not dating, I've never just dated just to date. That's right. My thing. Right. My end goal has always been, let's get married. You know what I'm saying? Right. Whether it happened or didn't, obviously none of them worked out because I'm single. But I honestly could say I tried in like all of them, Right. And I'm just, after the David situation, because he's the last guy I dated, after the whole David situation, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I mean, it's a whole trust thing. And I think like my trust has been given to people who didn't deserve it. You see what I'm saying? And I think that kind of bothered or interrupted, I guess, my life in a sense to where it has damaged me from trusting. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So whoever, I don't know. I really can't see myself with someone. I mean, I wouldn't mind having someone there, but at the same time, like, I guess I'm over wanting that. I don't desire it. Now, if someone comes around, awesome. I don't know. I don't know, Terry. He will have to understand me, you know. I don't know. I don't know, because this one guy, I tried. I honestly tried, Terry, after David. This is one guy, but it was too many red flags. I'm not trying to be used for a green card, all that situation. I'm so serious. I'm so
Son.
yeah, that's a whole situation. And I was like, look, I see right through your mess. And then on top of that, he was sending pedophile like vibes, saying that he wanted to, what did he say? He wanted me to take a break. Like he talked about, so he went into, oh, I imagine us being together and you coming in from work. First of all, why are you not coming in from work too? That was red flag one. You coming in from work and I'll go ahead and give your 3-year-old a bath so you don't have to worry about it. You what? I'm sorry, I got that part. That's my department. You don't need to give any of my kids a bath. Thank you. He was like, oh no. And I was like, I'm not gonna go back and forth with you why you should not see my child naked, but okay.
What?
Yes, Terry. He said he wants to give my 3-year-old a bath. I was like, these are just pedophile vibes. Can't do it. I don't know. I'm definitely not mixing my money again. I don't know, Terry. I don't know. I think it's too soon for me to answer that. Because honestly, I'm gonna say no. I don't see it. I need water. But I don't know. What you doing?
So what? No, just check something real quick. All right, so I mean, with me, I mean, I get you, I get what you're saying though, because hell, that's why I've been single for almost 3 years, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, somebody, I'm like, I'm good. I mean, I would like a relationship and marriage again, though. You know, well,
Yeah.
relationship.
Well, yeah, I would say you don't do marriage.
Well, the only way I would do marriage is if I get a say so in it, though. You know what I'm saying? I
What
don't
you
want it.
mean?
Like, for instance, the last one, my first and only marriage I ever had. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't really get much of a choice of how things happen, though. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. Is that good? Oh, what's wrong with her? Go get her. Where's your tummy time?
You know what I'm saying? I didn't get a chance to say, well, I don't want to be married in church. I'd be cool with the courthouse.
Oh.
Or
y'all can compromise?
No.
Wow.
It's you know how it is. It's her day. Shit, like,
that's nothing. I never understood that.
Like, for if it's your day, then marry your damn self. I don't need to be here then.
I told that to my first husband because his mama was. I said I can't do mama boys. I did that. My first husband, I can't do it. I got to when I was like, marry your mama then. She all up in this business and while you up here beating me, marry your mama.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Married your damn self. Dennis Rodman did it, so he married himself. So I mean, you can do the same thing he did. Since it's your day, though, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And another thing too, right? Like, and the woman I married, I was with her for 4 years before we got married, though. You know what
I'm saying? Okay, my question is, why wait so long?
Well, it wasn't my choice. You know what I'm saying? I actually married me like with the.
No, you're not gonna be here. Bye. Remember I told you when me and Terry talked, you're gonna be out there with them. Go get you some ice cream. I got you some ice cream. You want ice cream? Oh my goodness.
I want chocolate ice.
You want chocolate ice cream? Okay, go get you some chocolate ice cream. I love you. I love her little smile. Go make sure you be nice to Nara. You say, may I have chocolate ice cream, please? Thank you. Sorry.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? But like, what was your question again?
Why did y'all wait so long?
Well, I mean, we didn't have the money though. You know what I'm saying?
No. Oh, because she wanted that wedding.
Yeah, she wanted
That
that
is
wedding.
so
I didn't
silly
want
to me.
that. Well, actually, to be honest with you, it's not just because of that. It's because we didn't pick a date though. You know what I'm saying?
Because
So
of
one,
what?
we didn't pick a date. So we was like 40 years in, right? We was working and stuff like that. You know how life is, though. You know what I mean? And we finally made a date. It
What?
was-
What does the date have to do? Like? I guess to me it does. I don't know, man.
well,
Sorry.
I
Go
mean,
ahead.
remember what I said earlier? Don't try to, do the other people's everything.
Right.
You know what I'm
You're right.
saying?
That's why I was like, never mind.
So I mean, with us, it was like, you know what I'm saying, 4 years in, you know what I'm saying, and one day,
Go look. I got like a bunch.
and one day she was like, "Hey, okay, so what's going on? I mean, you still get married?" I was like, "Yeah, pick a date." I was like, "Shit, I don't know." I said, I thought about it. I was like, okay, we get married on September 7th. September 7th.
Why'd you pick that date?
Because it's the day before her birthday.
Aww.
You know what I'm saying?
That was sweet.
Yeah, I still didn't want to get married in the church though. That's for damn sure.
You didn't or she didn't?
She did. She was a member. I wasn't. So that's why. That's why I said I didn't want to get married in no damn church. I would not get. I put it like this: if I was in a religion, if